Welcome to the basic class. Before we begin, I would like us to take a look at what we are going to be learning. First, introduction to Postman and its core features. A guided tour of the Postman interface for complete beginners. How to make API calls using Postman. How to perform post, put, and delete requests without writing any code. Understanding and using HTTP status codes effectively. And lastly, how to create and manage variables and environments in Postman. Lesson 1. What is Postman? Or perhaps, let's even take a look at what API means, and then we get to dissect it with a layman understanding. An API, which is known as Application Programming Interface, is a set of rules and tools that allows different software systems to communicate and exchange data with each other. Essentially, it acts as a messenger delivering requests and responses between applications, systems, or platforms. And as we know, in the tech world, API is mostly used as a communicator between the front end and the back end. So let me break this down in a clearer understanding. Now let's use a restaurant as our case study. You walked into a restaurant and a waiter comes to attend to you, providing you the food menu. You get to select an item from the food menu, and afterwards you return the selected item to the waiter, who then proceeds to the kitchen to give them what you've ordered. They process the ingredients, gets the meal ready, and returns it back to the waiter. The waiter in turn proceeds to your table and serves you the meal. Now, this is the same function the API does when it comes to communication between the front end and the back end application. It collects the request from the front end, proceeds to the back end where we have the business rules, the databases, processes this request, gets the required data the front end application is asking for, and then returns it to the API. The API then would communicate the message gotten from the back end to the front end. This way, our systems are secured and properly connected. With this, we have come to understand what the API role is when it comes to creating the communication pathway between the front-end application and the back-end servers. Next, we're going to be looking into Postman and how it plays a role in API testing. Postman is an API platform used for designing, testing, documenting, and collaborating on APIs. It provides a comprehensive suite of tools that streamline the API lifecycle from initial design to ongoing maintenance. Postman simplifies API development and testing, making it easier for teams to build, test, and share API effectively. But in a simpler terms, our Postman is more or less like a checkmater who ensures that the API does its job properly in such a way that the backend devs can build confidence in what they've written before it is being integrated by the front-end developers. Follow me as we take a quick tour on the Postman application. Before we proceed, if you are yet to install Postman on your machine, click the link on your screen as I have prepared a guide to help you install the Postman application, and once you are done, you can return back to this lesson to continue. Now that we have all installed Postman on our machine, we will proceed with the lesson. We will be taking a tour on the Postman application by making a GET request. In order for us to send our first request, you need to first of all create a request file. And to do that, navigate to the New button and click on it. After that, you select the HTTP. Taking a look at the request file we have created, on this part of the screen, you can choose to change the method. So we'll call this the method, right? However, like I mentioned initially, we are making a GET request. In order for us to make a request, we are going to be using a REST API from request. We'll just paste the link, and if you observe the link, we are calling the user table to fetch all users. However, we are filtering to retrieve just the data on the page 2 of the table. So with this, navigate to the send button and click on send. Request will process and then return a response. Let's take a look at the response payload. So there are a number of things here for us to look at. One of them is the status code returned, and here you can see this is 200 OK. This simply means the request is successful. In subsequent lessons, we are going to learn more about the status code. We also have the body, which contains the response from the API we just made a request to. And if you can observe, this is page 2, and in each of the pages, we have 6 users, and then we have a total of 12 users on that table. If you observe, you notice that the ID here started from 7. So this tells you we are picking the next set of data after the first 6. So we have 7, we have 8, we have user 9 with ID, we have user 10, 11, 12. Next, we will be looking into why Postman matters. If you want to work in tech or you are already working in tech, API runs the world. And with Postman, you get to see how it works, test it, and even break it in a safe environment. Next, I will be showing you how to make different types of API calls like post, put, delete without writing a single line of code. Do ensure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out in the next lesson.